Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. Take dos! As always, I am your homie Davvon. If you enjoy the content, smash the like button for me. Without further delay, let's play. Let's play! Right now! Let's play! Youth, 19 years. We just finished the youth chapter in our last video, which actually, coincidentally, I recorded probably about 45 minutes ago. Took a little bit of a break, and here we are, back at it again. The end of youth. The years of your youth have come to an end. The time has come to leave the capital behind and return to your family and new business in your hometown of Anazot. The years away from home were full of tumult and hardship. Your adult shoulders have now bear the burden of your first life-changing decisions. Did you have the freedom to choose this lot for yourself? Or was it destiny all along, ever since your childhood years? All you can do now is follow the path that lies before you. Life events that happened to me during youth: bond of friendship, graduated from college, path of the nobleman. Some regrettable decisions in there. Diplomacy is a 7, theology is a 3, manipulation is a 3, so I'm naive as hell. Valor is a 11. I wish I would have been a little bit higher for valor. Scheming, we're inexperienced. I need to bump up scheming and valor, but the main positive to take away from this is that we still have 4 lives. We have not died yet. We have not wasted our lives. Now for the long chapter of peacetime.
A full adult now, I returned from the capital a changed man. Yet, my hometown was not the same as I had left it. Fate had difficult times in store for all of us.
Reminder and spoiler alert, in the last playthrough, I did not survive through peacetime. We are approaching the point now where some of this might become new to me. And we will live with our decisions. The road back home. As the carriage wheels clack a steady rhythm over the cobblestones, you watch the lands of Magra, rendered dry and desolate by ancient magic, sail by the window. You are back in your home province, but you are no longer the boy who left it by this very road 4 years ago. You return a nobleman and a judge. You are continuing the family trade. You have returned to serve at the province's prefecture. Your home in Anazot is but a few hours along. Your home in Anazot is but a few hours away along this dusty road. The carriage is stuffy and hot from the sun, even with the thick blinders shut tight. It is a familiar heat, but you will now need to get used to it again. The heat weighs heavy on you, but it also reminds you of your childhood. You will see your family again soon. To pass the time before your return home, you read your father's most recent letter. Again and again, you carefully reread your father's uneasy words, steeling yourself for your first real job and the service that awaits. Robert Brante. Dear Davvon Jr., I anxiously await your return, my son. You are the 3rd judge in our bloodline, the pride of our family. Yet these are hard times for a judge. By the Emperor's decree, Archduke Tarquinius Melanides is no longer the overseer of Magra. The new overseer is the Emperor's own brother, Gaius Tempest. And now our province has been split by enmity and strife between the Archduke and the Overseer. The nobles have split into 2 factions, and so too have the commoners. Some side with the Duke, loyal to their liege and determined to follow the traditions of old. Yet many judges and officials are eager to side with Gaius Tempest as the new Overseer. Compared to his brother Cornelius, he is less radical and more cautious, but he too seeks to transform the empire and bring the estates to peace. Yet other Arctians are outraged that Archduke Melanides has been deposed. One among them is Dorius Otten, High Commander of Magra. Although Otten and his men are sworn to serve Gaius Tempest and follow his orders, it is no secret that his loyalty remains with the Archduke. While Gaius and the Archduke are at odds, there has been no open confrontation. Yet, I fear their patience may one day run dry. As for the judges at the prefecture, every day we deal with more and more litigation between nobles and commoners. Yet there are no imperial laws that clearly formalize the rights of all three estates. Wisdom, honor, and conscience are every judge's best advisors these days. You made the choice to serve the law, and you will have your work cut out for you. You'll answer directly to Prefect Augustine Alborn, a long-standing friend of the family. He needs strong allies now more than ever. While the support of people such as you and I, the Prefect intends to alter the fate of our With the support of people such as you and I, the Prefect intends to alter the fate of our province. I am looking forward to seeing you back in Anazot, Davvon Jr. You put the letter back in your pocket. The walls of Anazot have finally emerged on the horizon. A challenging job at the prefecture awaits you, but first you are going home. Most important events that will happen in this chapter. Auden is sentenced. I want this one. I really do. Do not betray Auguste Dalbor, protector of the people, evidence against Auden, or justice. At 8 or 9. I really want that one. I feel like to avenge my last playthrough, I need this to happen. Faces the Court of Honor. Knight of the Serpents. Broken Chains. I'm gonna concentrate on getting my justice to level 10. And avoid this. We're gonna get our justice to level 10. What happens? Okay, so if I get justice to 8 or 9, I can still do this one, but I cannot have our family dishonored. Do this one. So we need to do this one, which is the Auden is sentenced. And we want broken chains, which justice equals 10. So we're going to concentrate solely on justice and being a protector of the people. Reputation above 8. Favored by the overseer. I don't want this one. This one I don't care about. The family in ruins. The family becomes a hereditary dynasty of the sword, earning the favor of overseer Gaius Tempest and a place at court. I don't care about that one. Heir of the family. You succeed your elder brother. Davvon is the heir of the Brante family, ennobled by the sword. We have all of these, except for reputation. The Brante family is no more. I can live with this. Events that can happen to the Brante family this chapter. A family of means. Wealthy. Mother recovers. So we just need that above 8. Robert adopts Gloria. Family at peace. Which one's family at peace? Family at peace. Family at peace. Family at peace. Which one is family at peace? Oh, family at peace. No secret plot. No betrothal. No secret plot. Killed in a duel. Unite the family. There's so much here that plays into each other. It's crazy. Okay, either way. We're just going to play it through. Protector of the people. Protect the common folk. I want to be... Okay, number one goal is to get our justice. There's just way too much there for me to remember everything. There's just a lot in this chapter. Year 1130... I missed the age. Year 1138. Homecoming. The carriage stops. The familiar gate. Your bedroom window. The same one you use to climb out of at night from time to time. The well-attended garden with its imported soil, delightful greenery, and mother's beloved violet irises. The porch you used to jump off of when you were little. You are home. You touch the handle of the front door and halt for a moment. It has been 4 years since you left for Eterna, but it feels like yesterday. The air inside is cool, as usual. Father cannot stand a stuffy room and insists on constantly airing out the house. You hear hurried footsteps coming from the direction of Father's study. Before you have time to take off your traveling cloak, you are crushed in Stefan's strong embrace. Your brother has grown taller and more broad-shouldered. When he detaches himself from you, you notice how harsh his features have become. He looks even more like grandfather now. Stefan Brante. Grown so much over the last 4 years, Davvon Jr. Just look at you. You left a low-born boy, but you've come back Sir Brante. I'm so glad you've joined us in the noble estate. You respond by giving your brother a wrapped gift. Stefan unwraps it carefully. When he sees the sword, a boyish smile appears on his stern face. Stefan Brante. It's beautiful. What a wonderful gift, brother. Maybe I should start a collection. What do you think? Robert Brant. There's no hurry, Stefan. And now, let me have a look at the prefecture's new judge. Father approaches you, his hand extended. You shake it and wrap your arms around him. Father looks older. His back is hunched and he squints. There are deep lines around his mouth and silver threads in his dark hair and mustache. Taking a step back, Father examines you from head to toe. Robert Brant. What fine posture. You had an excellent teacher. I'm so proud of you. You made it, son. Mother comes out of the living room, leaning on Nathan's arm. You immediately see signs of the illness you read about in the letters from home. Her back is bent, her hair is gray, a thin web of wrinkles covers her face, and her complexion has lost its color. She can barely stand unassisted. Nathan leads Mother to you. Slowly, very delicately, she embraces you. You press your face into her shoulder, breathing in the nearly forgotten, dearly beloved smell. Mother holds your shoulders and studies your face for a long time. Lydia Brant. You've been away so long, son. How you've grown. Just a short while ago, I was cradling you in my arms. You look so much like your father when he was your age. Sir Davvon Jr. Brant. Nathan approaches you next. Your younger brother is now as tall as you are, and his hair almost reaches his shoulders. But he still has the same lost look in his eyes he had when he was a boy. Stefan Brant. Here's our ne'er-do-well brother. He hasn't changed a bit or grown an inch after all this time. He couldn't get into the seminary, so he just hangs around. Nathan lets out a heavy sigh and awkwardly puts his arms around you. Nathan Brant. I'm glad to see you back, Davvon Jr. Home just hasn't been the same without you. You hear a snort behind you. Everyone turns. At the top of the stairs stands Gloria, her arms across her chest. She is dressed as a man in culottes, a frock coat, and a necktie with a massive pin. The entire family waits for you to greet her. Stefan shakes his head disapprovingly. Your sister descends as if forcing herself to do so. A few steps away from you, Gloria stops and bows. Gloria, welcome to your home, Sir Brant. Your sister looks thinner and leaner than she used to. She has dark circles under her eyes, as though she has been sleeping too little or crying too much. Stefan Brant. Enough pleasantries. Come on in, the temple is set. Lydia has prepared a veritable feast for you. For the first time in years, the entire family is together. You can finally spend some time with another member of your family today. You're going to support Gloria. At the table, you try to ask Gloria about her life, but your sister dodges your question. Gloria, I live, I suffer, I help around the house, I know my place. Just like a low-born girl's supposed to. Stefan Brant. Then keep quiet, Gloria. Your brother doesn't care about the affairs of commoners anymore. Instead, why don't you tell us if you've made any useful acquaintances, Davvon Jr.? Our family would benefit from some good connections right now. You have to relate the 4 years you spent in Eterna. Only later that night, when the family is getting ready for bed, do you manage to have a conversation with your sister by the smoldering fireplace. You assure Gloria that your noble title will not come between you. She is still your sister. Gloria casts a wary glance at you. Gloria, so your sword and title haven't changed you after all. Giving in to her feelings at last, Gloria buries her face in your shoulder. You caress your sister's disheveled locks. Gloria, I really hope you'll always be my brother, Davvon Jr. Mother, Nathan, and I, we all seem to be unwanted in this house. Sir Robert spends all his time at work, so Stefan has been running the household. It's taken a heavy toll on Mother. I can see her losing her will to live. You know, at her age, she might pass away forever and not be reborn. She had to endure a lot before she met Sir Robert, and her illness is consuming her. All Stefan cares about is getting the family ennobled by the sword. He'd sacrifice anyone for it. I'm worried the first thing he's going to do is drive me out of the house, so I won't taint the Brant family name with my origins. I'm just an obstacle to him, a hindrance. You know, Davvon Jr., I'm not sure how much longer I can tolerate this injustice. Times are changing. If I'm lowborn, that doesn't mean I'm going to serve the nobles until my true death. All over the Empire, commoners are fighting for their rights. Gloria suddenly cuts herself short. For a long time, you sit in silence, listening to the crackling fireplace. Brant family is about to face some challenging times. So we have plus relationship with Stefan and Gloria. Easy. We'll make them gains. First day of service. Your service as a judge begins today. Get dressed early in the morning, donning a brand new jacket with cravat and hat. It's an immaculate look if you dare say so yourself. You head to the prefecture with Father. The prefecture moved recently and now occupies a massive new building of white sandstone in the very center of Anazat. A stone statue looms above it, the sword of the younger twins, the divine law that directs worldly judgment. All legal disputes in the province are to be resolved here. You and Father walk up the marble stairs past the commoners, merchants, and lesser nobles, all petitioners and litigants, huddled by the pillars. Robert Brant. Well now, my son, here you shall begin your service to the Empire in the midst of the great struggle I told you about. If you don't mind a little advice, you will serve under Sir Elborn. Follow my example and stay close to your superior. He is a human of great worth and practically your relative. You walk past the courtroom and up to the second floor, where judges work in their offices and receive petitioners. The corridors are many and narrow, filled with the smell of old papers and sounds of muffled, mumbling voices, and secretaries and guards running to and fro. Father guides you down a corridor that ends with the door to Sir L. Byrne's office. Robert Brant. Davvon Jr., it is time for you to stand before the prefect. Remember the friendship between our families. You knock and enter. The spacious oak-paneled office is not without decoration, yet its adornments are tasteful and elegant rather than garish. The flag of Magra bearing the silver tree hangs on the wall. Behind an imposing desk sits Baron Augustine Elborn, surrounded by papers. His face wears a focused expression you call from his visits in the past, although it is more wrinkled than you remember. He looks up and his face comes to life. He rises and extends a hand to you. Augustine Elborn. Why, young Davvon Jr. Brant, what a pleasure it is to see you again. I see your years at the capital have turned you into a stately young man. I was told you proved yourself quite capable at the college. The city of Anazat needs worthy judges who know their craft now more than ever. Allow me to welcome you into the service for the good of the Empire. I'm sure you already know the basics of judicial work. Serving at the prefecture, however, takes more than finding your way through our laws. Although they are quite labyrinth and contradictory, there's no denying that. Anywhere you look in our province, you will see friction between the estates. Old noble blood, new nobles, rich commoners, poor commoners, they all have their legal disputes. And we judges work here to make sure this pot never boils over. If we are too eager to follow the traditions of old and bow to noble privilege, the common estate will grow desperate and lose all hope for freedom. But if we openly side with the commoners, the nobles' ire will be quick to find us. And so, Judge Brant, I ask you to be wary and wise. Peace hangs by a thread in this province. Carefully consider every decision you make at court before rendering your verdict. But first, you need to get accustomed to your new position. You shall begin at once. The prefecture has already assigned you a number of legal proceedings to review and judge. Your office is ready and waiting for you, Sir Brant. The instructions are over. The work begins. You recognize your new office by the brass plate on the door reading, Sir Davvon Jr. Brant, Judge. You find it rather cramped on the inside, yet still reasonably comfortable. The sturdy desk has all the stationery you need. Behind the desk is a large chair of carved wood, and in the front of it are several smaller chairs for petitioners. Heavy curtains hang over the window, worthy opponents for the morning light trying to shine through. That's actually like 10 out of 10 sentence structure. Who has ever heard anybody say, like sentence-wise? Let me reread the sentence. I'm sorry, I want to point this out. Heavy curtains hang over the window, worthy opponents for the morning light trying... That sentence by itself right there makes me appreciate this more. That is such an amazing sentence right there. There are papers on the desk already, including instructions, orders, rulings, and all sorts of other prefecture paperwork. You are about to begin when you hear a sudden knock at the door. The source of the disturbance turns out to be a stout, smartly dressed nobleman. He greets you with an elegant bow you would not have expected from such a sizable individual. Carlo Fockegraben. I miss this guy. His name is so fun to say. Carlo Fockegraben. Herr Brante, congratulations on your first day of service. Allow me to introduce myself, Judge Carlo Fockegraben, a humble servant of the law like yourself. It is my hope that we will become fast friends. Ho 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 ho. I feel he has a big belly chuckle. And now, if I may, a word of warning to help your work progress smoothly. As a token of our future friendship, I am aware that Sir Elborn is your immediate superior. As a loyal servant of the Empire, you will, of course, take his word as your guide. Yet, there is no reason to neglect all of the other judges at the prefecture, all of whom are noble men of great worth. Their guidance will certainly aid you as a judge. Ho 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 ho. It will be my pleasure, Sir Brante, to facilitate your introduction to the noble judges of the prefecture as soon as possible. I see Gloria in your future service to the Empire, yet it certainly cannot hurt to receive reassurance and support when you might need it most. I shall not detain you any longer, but if you wish to make some valuable connections, my office is right across from your own. Ho 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 ho. Another elegant bow from Judge Carlo Fockegraben. And the door closes. You are alone at your desk once more. Scorching sun is rising over the province behind the window. Today is an important day, the day when you are to take your first steps in your new profession. What will you focus on today? Let's go ahead and ask Father for advice. For a while, you busy yourself with paperwork and upcoming cases, until you remember that Father's office is right next to yours. He used to help you master the intricacies of imperial law at school. Perhaps you could benefit from his experience and guidance now. You shift the case folders aside and walk out of your office. Your father is in his office, standing at the window with a deeply pensive look. The subject of his thought is in his hand, a letter bearing the Archduke's seal. He turns around and pats you on the shoulder, then asks you about your meeting with Sir Elborn. A few moments later, you ask him to give you some advice and fill you in on the situation at the prefecture. Robert Brante. My son, you'd be best be wary for now. Sir Elborn will be watching you closely, but this is certainly understandable. The prefect's views have made his position rather tenuous. Only a handful of judges at the prefecture have sided with him fully, and I am one of them. Yet even I would not dare draw the ire of those above us and risk our family's welfare. When a noble and a commoner clash in the courtroom these days, the court almost always sides with the noble, no matter the circumstances. Even if the commoner is wealthy, the courts are not on his side. The judges rely upon the rule of law if only, and only if, both parties hail from the common estate. Sir Elborn aims to change this little by little. He is eager to ensure that the imperial law applies to all three estates in equal measure, but there are many who oppose him, from Archduke Melanidas and his loyal Commander Auden to our own fellow judges. Right now, Sir Elborn enjoys the backing of Gaius Tempest, but the Imperial Overseer may abandon him at any moment. So here is my word of advice to you. Be careful. Help Sir Elborn bring the nobles under Imperial law, but do not draw the ire of the other judges. Remember, more than just your career depends upon our verdicts. Even a single careless judgment may be enough to bring our family into disfavor. It was wise of you to ask for my advice before rendering verdicts on your own. I'm sure you will be able to tackle any issue you might encounter after all. We prepared you for this ever since you were a child. Your discussion continues. Father shares his own experiences. Let me restart. Your discussion continues. Father shares his own experience of carefully siding with the common estate whenever possible, while properly respecting the privileges of the nobility. Even a partial victory in such a legal dispute comes as a great surprise to any commoner. Soon the vermilion rays of the setting sun fill Father's office. Your workday has come to an end. As you walk through the corridors with Father, you see the other judges watching you closely. There is a knowing look about them. Sir Fockegraben, your new acquaintance, is one of those judges. Carlo Fockegraben. Sir Brante Jr. Sr., Sir Brante Jr., good evening to you. It is a joy to see your son following in his father's footsteps. Both in and out of courtroom, I assume. Let me reread this. I apologize. I'm struggling right now. Sir Brant Sr., Sir Brant Jr., good evening to you. It is good to see a son following his father's footsteps, both in and out of the courtroom, I assume. I still believe you would do well to take me up on my offer. A grown man needn't cling to his father's coattails, although the decision is yours, of course. Ho 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 ho. Balkagraben follows this with a courteous farewell and a nod. Father nods to him reservedly, keeping his emotions perfectly in check. Your first day at the prefecture has ended. A carriage is waiting outside to take you both back home. What? Hey, we got justice +1. Nice. Diplomacy +1. Nice. James! You started your service at the prefecture of Magra. Yay! Page. A reception at the Brant residence. You come back home after a short stroll through the city. As soon as you set foot in the house, you are greeted by Stefan, who invites you to have a talk in Father's office. When you enter the room, Father has a heap of letters in front of him and is signing them one after another. Robert Brant. Son, Stefan and I must discuss an important matter with you. While you were in the capital, our family formally petitioned the overseer to grant us the nobility of the sword. We have 3 generations of noble blood already. We have the right to make our nobility hereditary. Your grandfather took the first steps towards the nobility of the sword as soon as Stefan was born, and now we are on the brink of becoming the El Brants. If Overseer Gaius Tempest and the nobles of the province deem us worthy, we will receive a hereditary title. All nobles of the Brant family will remain noble forever, as will their descendants. Stefan Brant. Father and I do our utmost to maintain the family's position, but our goal can be reached only if our reputation remains unblemished in the eyes of high society. The nobility is watching our every step. Father lays a hand on your shoulder. Robert Brant. Now this is your cause too. The future of our family depends on it. We need an estimable reputation and wealth. Everyone bearing the name of Brant affects it. Remember that with every action you take, Davvon Jr. Stefan Brant. You'll have to appear before Anazon High Society. We're going to host a reception for the nobility at our home soon. You must uphold the honor of our family, brother. You'll relate the news from Eterna to our guests and present yourself in favorable light. With Stefan at the helm, the entire family spends a week preparing for the majestic reception. The house is flooded with decorations and new tableware. Delicacies are cooking in the kitchen around the clock. And the napkins now bear an embroidered oak branch in chains, the Brant family crest. Gloria is the only one to neglect the common cause. Gloria. Were it up to me, I wouldn't be seen in this hypocritical gathering. But I want to let Sir Robert down. He's the only reason I plan to stay for the event. The evening of the reception has come. Dignified conversations and the clinking of glasses fill the house. Among your guests are many highborn, powerful people. Your father and Stefan dance from guest to guest, making sure no one is overlooked. Augustine Alborn. Young Davvon Jr., how splendid to see you. So what was your time in the capital like? You exchange pleasantries with a high-placed relative. Meanwhile, Gloria and Mother spend the evening on a settee by the wall without drawing any attention. Neither your father nor your elder brother introduced them to the noble guests. Still, one of the guests, a young nobleman of the sword named Jose El Palacier, keeps staring at Gloria in fascination. Your sister averts her eyes, bemused. Jose El Palacier. Lady Gloria, you are the true gem of the evening. You look so marvelously daring. I haven't seen your like even in the capital, and I've never seen a goatee that looks like that. When you walk past Gloria, you hear her hurried whisper. Gloria. Davvon Jr., please talk to me. This Sir El Palacier keeps following me. I feel uneasy. What does he want from me? I'm just a lowly commoner. Come with me to the other side of the room, although I'll probably still stand out among all these refined nobles. Look, it's Durante the painter. I wonder what's brought him so far from the cap. It'd be fabulous if he could paint our family portrait. We should all be on canvas together. We're one big happy family after all. Wine glass in hand, you cast a look across the crowded room. It is time to choose how you will spend the evening. Oh no. 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 Alright, so here the news. Okay, so I was actually really hoping to avoid this, but we have to make the decision, I guess. I did have a comment, but I believe the name was Junior in the last video about how I'm not last video, video before this one. Last video before last? One of the videos previously that I was screwing myself over kind of because I wasn't choosing options that gave me more points and affected the relationships with those around me. And I agree with that. Fully 100% agree with that. And I should have been making more selfish decisions for the points. It's just, I can't bring myself to do it. It's like physically can't do it. I'm trying to stack points a little better. Like thinking to myself, knowingly say, hey, I want more points. I need to do this. I need to sacrifice for this. But I think it's too little too late at this point. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to come out. I just know that I'm not as proud of this playthrough as I am the last one. I'm just going to leave it at that, I guess. A reception at the Brante residence. You take your mother and sister by the arm and lead them to the middle of the room. You ask if you could have everyone's attention for a moment in order to present the hostesses of the evening. May I present Lady Brante, wife of Sir Robert, and their daughter Gloria. The guests avert their gaze in confusion. Mother bows with difficulty in response, while Gloria supports her by her shoulders. Lydia Brante. My esteemed guests, it is great honor for us to have you in our home. Although we are not all of noble descent, the Brante family will always strive to give you the welcome you deserve. Father, dumbfounded, walks up to Mother and takes her hand. You order the musicians to start playing. Father has no choice but to dance with his wife. The guests whisper disdainfully to one another, but maintain decorum and join the dance. Stefan, furious, rushes up to you. Stefan Brante. How dare you? You are not a child anymore, Davvon Jr. Why draw the nobility's attention to the fact we still have all these commoners in our family? Well, because apparently I don't have the balls to go ask for a painting or to tell a story. Huh. You retort that this is what the Brantes are. If Stefan is so concerned about his family, he has to acknowledge the existence of Lydia, Gloria, and Nathan, not try to conceal them from the rest of the world. With an aggrieved air, Stefan rejoins the guests. Your parents keep dancing slowly. The illness has taken Mother's former grace, but Father carefully holds her as if carrying her along with him. Gloria watches them, mesmerized. Gloria. That took a lot of courage, Davvon Jr. Let everyone see that our family is more than our title and position. We're people too. Father and Mother finally finish the dance and come back to you. Mother gives you and Gloria a gentle hug. Lydia Brante. That was a wonderful idea, son. My legs aren't what they used to be, but it's been so long since I danced with Robert. The night is over. After the guests leave, you discuss the future of the family long into the night. So people are happy and mad. Reputation -1. Oh, I don't want to be disgraced. At least we're prepared for anything. So we have a nice stack of willpower at the very least. A rock in a hard place. The Brante home has been uneasy for several months now. With Father traveling all over the province for his judicial duties, the animosity between Stefan and Gloria has grown into a full-blown feud. Your elder brother tries to use his position as heir to keep his sister in check and make her behave in accordance with her estate. Gloria repudiates his authority. Their fights rock the house on a daily basis. Eventually, after returning from his latest trip, Father gathers Stefan, Gloria, Nathan, and you in his office. His somber look pretends a difficult conversation. Stefan gazes at his father defiantly. Gloria is poised to lash out and run away. Nathan quietly keeps to the side. Robert Brante. Children, for a long time now, our family has been striving to become nobles of the sword. Every noble member of the Brante family will gain a hereditary title. This is your grandfather's dying wish. Gloria sighs loudly. Gloria. Then why am I here, Sir Robert? Stefan Brante. She's right. This is a Brante matter. Robert Brante. Wait until I finish, Stefan. I am still the head of this household. If you are truly so concerned about honor, show your father some respect. It can't be helped. Not all of us are noble, but now we must be united as never before. We must work together to protect the reputation and wealth of this family. But you, Stefan, perpetually humiliate Gloria. Stefan Brante. Father, all I'm trying to do is put her in her place. You know perfectly well the consequences of any attention Gloria might attract. Our every step is being observed. The nobles will make pariahs of our family for all eternity if they remember Gloria's filthy origins and your reckless marriage to Lydia. Father turns red in the face, but with considerable effort he remains composed. Robert Brante. That is so. Stefan Brante. Our grandfather died doing everything in his power to remedy your mistakes. Please, father, don't repeat them. Gloria speaks up. Gloria, I'm just trying to live, Sir Robert. Stefan wants to lock me in a cage so nobody will ever lay eyes on me. Stefan Brant. That's not it at all. You are lowborn, but you don't live by your lot. You do whatever it takes, your fancy. You're constantly grumbling about the order of things. Did you know that, father, that she defies all prohibitions by continuing to write poetry? Gloria, as far as you're concerned, anyone who contradicts you is an insurgent. Stefan, when will you grasp the idea that you may not argue with a nobleman? I'm the heir of this family, and my word is your law. Purple with rage, father slams his fist on the table. It is rare to see him so furious. Both your elder brother and sister instantly fall silent. Frightened, Nathan shrinks into a corner. Robert Brant. Hold your tongues, both of you. Let Davvon Jr. speak. He has witnessed your quarrels. He should know best which of you is in the right. We're going to send Gloria to Valona. Defend Gloria. So, yeah, we're going to send Gloria to Valona. I think that's the best choice. I'm not choosing sides. You take a conciliatory zone. You note that the tempers are running too high. Your siblings would benefit from spending some time apart. They need to cool off. They try to settle their differences. From what you hear, the town of Valona in the southern part of the province has an excellent resort with healing springs. What if Gloria took a vacation there for a month to improve her health and have some rest by the sea? Gloria shakes her head hesitantly. Gloria, you're trying to get rid of me, Davvon Jr., so I won't be in your way. What am I supposed to do at some twins-forsaken spa? You patiently explain to Gloria that she'll be able to enjoy some reading, find inspiration in contemplating the waves, and ponder on her future. And then when she comes back, she and Stefan will calmly discuss their issues. Finally, Gloria gives in. Stefan Brant. A trip to Valona will be costly. I'd like to know who will pay for it. Speaking first and foremost to your father, you argue that peace in the family is worth any expense. Robert Brant. Two of you should indeed spend some time away from each other. Let it be as you suggested, Davvon Jr. Gloria, start packing. Stefan, please send a note to Valona and hire a carriage for your sister. Gloria reluctantly heads off to the coast. This trip forces the family to spend a hefty sum, but the constant bickering of your brother and sister, the tension at home quickly resolves. With no need to keep an eye on Gloria, Stefan devotes himself to Anazot's social life. Gloria surprisingly returns serene. After a month in Valona, her temper has mellowed for a time. She is engrossed in her own affairs, and she does not draw her brother's ire. Hey, we're not broke. Manipulation +1, eloquence +1. Okay, we take those. Gains. Not anything that's going to be like story altering, but it's gains nonetheless. The land dispute. This is a judge. This is oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I am losing it today. Power, no. Judge, no. Justice. This is a justice point opportunity here, if I remember right. This is a justice point opportunity. The land dispute. It is the morning of a very sultry day, and you are back at the office. You are beginning to get used to the duties of your new profession. Father visits you on the job now, and then to see your progress and provide advice, but by now he is confident you can handle the work on your own. Today is your first case, assigned by the prefect himself. From the comfort of your chair, you go through the facts and circumstances of the case. The matter seems simple at first, seeking some desperately needed financial gain. A noble from the less than wealthy El Avila family rented out a sizable portion of his estate to a well-off commoner by the name of Basil Jung. All the rent payments are in order, and there is plenty of time left before the lease is set to expire. But the commoner built a large dye works on the estate, and then El Avila suddenly filled a case with the prefecture to evict him. The rental agreement specifically states that the commoner Jung has the right to construct any building on the land. The noble landowner, however, thinks he has the final say on the construction since the land belongs to him. Basil Jung, on the other hand, has refused to vacate the rented land since the term of the agreement has not yet expired. Both parties are to appear at the prefecture to hear your decision. The litigant Sir El Avila enters first. He is an aging noble who dresses far too colorfully for his years. He walks into your office with confidence and sits in front of you. The next man to enter is Basil Jung, a heavy-set man with a thick beard, clothed in an old jacket and clutching a hat. He stands by your desk and bows to you. Sir El Avila does not hesitate to speak first. Gustav El Avila, Your Honor, I demand you drive the Commoner Jung from my land. His dye work is a noisy, nasty, ugly building, and I refuse to have it on my property. My family already had to endure their warehouses and their filthy workers right by our own estate, but this is simply beyond the pale. Either the court says the dye works must be demolished, or I, Gustav Elavila, will do it myself. You ask Sir Elavila to compose himself and tell the commoner to give his statement. Basil Jung gives his account, speaking in a deep, gruff bass. Basil Jung. Your Honor, it cost me all my money to build the dye works. The contract says it clear. I got the right to build anything on the land during my rental period. And Sir Elavila didn't say a word at first, but now he up and demands me to demolish it? My family to be ruined. That's not gonna happen, I say. Sir Elavila screams at him in return, outraged by what he calls his cunning trickery. The bearded Basil Jung disagrees again and again, his pudgy finger pointing at the clause in the agreement. It is noon already. The sun is so hot, even the air itself seems to melt away. This is your first case ever. It is time to deliver your verdict. Well, we don't want to bribe. We don't want to terminate the rental agreement. We are going to protect Jung's rights. We want that justice point. The land dispute. You deliver your verdict. As the rental agreement clearly states, Basil Jung has the right to use the aforementioned lands belonging to the Elavila family until the year 1150, and construct any buildings on the aforementioned lands. Basil Jung's use of the land is not in violation of the agreement, and therefore he must not be evicted, and the dye works will remain. Any attempt to drive him off or demolish the building will constitute a breach of law. Gustav Elavila. How dare you? This is my land, and I can do whatever I want with it. It is my right. I can rent it out, and I can take it back just the same. And your puny little papers mean nothing to me. If you refuse to resolve this peacefully, Your Honor, why, I'll just put the damn dye works to the torch. You have a response to that. If Jung's property should come to harm through Elavila's actions, the nobleman will provide recompense for all damage and pay a fine to the emperor. The law of the empire is the emperor's rule. Nobles and commoners alike must obey the law in equal measure. Your words are tactful, but unyielding. The nobleman has no chance. His face pale with rage. Sir Elavila spits out a goodbye through clenched teeth and walks away. Basil Jung. Thank you so much for your verdict, Sir Brante. I never even hoped you would protect my rights after all. Now the dye works is gonna hit it big. The other judges soon learn of your verdict. With your very first case, you have caused quite a stir at the prefecture. Most judges would not have deigned to hear the commoner's statement. Yet you defied noble privilege and enforced a lawful agreement against the nobleman, an ill omen for the other families, or the other nobles. The order -1. I think this hurts our career. Our career is in dangerous position. We need to bring our career back while still fighting for justice. It's hard to balance. Hard to balance. Chutes and ladders. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Career less than Here we go. News of your latest actions spreads rapidly across Anazat. You have made many enemies during your years as I just became a judge. Years as a judge, and now is their chance to strike. Your career is hanging by a thread. You have to fight off accusations, denouncements, and slander just to retain your position. A quiet knock at the door interrupts your musings. The imposing figure of Judge Carlo Fockegraben solemnly floats into your office. Carlo Fockegraben. We barely see each other these days, Brante. I've decided to pay you a visit, with the most cordial of attentions, of course. I've been hearing everywhere that things are not going well for you, so I asked myself the question, how could a man of your talents quarrel with almost all of Anazat high society? I'm sure you are simply misguided, but worry not, I will show you the way. Many judges see you as a threat. They think that your daring rulings are putting the entire prefecture in danger. Let's examine your latest case, for instance. Its outcome enraged all the nobility of the city. But I know you aren't what they say you are. The others need to see how much you care for your colleagues in our institution. Take my advice, Davvon Jr. Don't forget that it is a judge's job to maintain law and order among the estates, not destroy it. Admit your error and can reconsider at least some of your past decisions in favor of the nobility. Ho 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 ho. Do this and I assure you no society will come to see you as a respectable nobleman and wise judge once more. Do not emulate our perfect. We know that I hold Elborn in the highest esteem, but between you and me, he's on the verge of a precipice. He's dragging you down with him. Promise me you'll think about what I've said, Brante. I'm only concerned about your well-being. I care about the career of a promising judge like you. Falcagraben takes a bow and leaves as silently as he came. You reread your latest case as lost in thought. This is what turned high society against you. Your enemy's schemes are preventing you from continuing your work. You need to find a way out of this situation. I think we're going to ask Father for help. Because I don't want to change my decisions. I don't want to lose my justice point. Because I want to, again, the goal of this playthrough and what I wanted the last playthrough to end in is me allowing the commoners to eradicate the law differences or to uprise. I want to be the leader of the rebellion. So we're going to ask our father for help on this one. You walk swiftly to your father's office. No matter what happens, he will always come to your aid. The conversation begins awkwardly. You tell him about your latest rulings, the enemies you have made, and the pressure from Falcagraben and those like him. Will he help you out of your difficulty? Having carefully listened to your account, Father frowns. Robert Brante, you and I are in dire straits indeed. You know that I'll always be on your side, but now you've gone too far. It's my fault too. It's time we got you out of this mess. Our family has still managed to build a reputation over the last few years. I'll arrange meetings with some important noblemen and plead your case. Like predatory beasts, they will smell our vulnerability. As soon as you ask for a favor, you become not only a debtor, but also a prospective victim. But we have no choice. Otherwise, you will lose your position as judge. But promise me, son, that from now on, you will be more cautious and refrain from making more enemies of our family. You assure Father you will do your utmost. Then you awkwardly thank him for his help. He pats you on the shoulder in response and picks up his quill pen. Letters, entreaties, and humiliating visits await him. Career +2 judge. Yay, we're safe. Reputation -1. Okay, we need to work on our reputation. We do not want to become disgraced. Diplomacy +1, willpower -5. I think that was the best choice we could have made in this situation. Year 1139. Peacetime. 21 years of age, and I'm already trying to lose my judge job. I think I made it farther last time as a judge before that happened. Year 1139. The Archduke and the Overseer. Two powerful lords have been struggling for power in Magra for over 2 years now. The new Overseer of the province, Gaius Tempest, cannot seem to rein in the obstinate spirit of Archduke Tarquinius Melanidas. Unwilling to accept that he is no longer the Overseer of Magra, the Archduke still stubbornly continues to assert his right to rule the province. Most of the Magran gentry who swore allegiance to him generations ago remain loyal to him even now. Gaius Tempest has publicly demanded that the Archduke recognize the Overseer's rule as legitimate. Gaius Tempest. I am the voice and the will of Emperor Uther II in the province of Magra. All lands, deeds, and titles notwithstanding, Archduke Melanidas must obey his sovereign's will and heed his decree. I hereby extend to the Archduke an offer of peace. Should the Archduke cease his insubordination, his lands, deeds, and titles shall remain his own. The Archduke's response to the Overseer was openly defiant. Archduke Melanidas. Since the days of yore, the land of Magra has belonged to the Melanidas dynasty. We are a part of the Empire, and we are Emperor's loyal servants. However, our dynasty will not stand for such intrusion upon our lawful rights and privileges. Never before has an Archduke been stripped of his right to represent the Emperor's rule in his own province. Do not forget, Sir Overseer, that the highest noble families of Magra have sworn fealty to me alone. Neither the Archduke nor the Overseer will relent, but both are too powerful to be readily disposed of. The bad blood between the two Archons has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay the price for their strife. Stripped to the Overseer's tax privileges, the Archduke Melanidas has decided to impose his own levy upon the citizens and villagers of Magra. The commoners are now forced to pay taxes twice, first to the Overseer and then to the Archduke. This double burden is too much for the common people of Magra to hear. Many have refused the second tax outright as a lawless measure. But the Imperial Legion, led by Dorius Auden, is ruthless. Eagerly and without mercy, the Legion soldiers collect the Archduke's dues in cities and villages alike. Wealth of Magra -1, order -1, a struggle for power +1. Oh, power +1. A gift for the family. This last year has been an ordeal for your family. The pains taken to be ennobled by the sword, the close attention of the city aristocracy, the squabbles between Stefan and Gloria. Tonight, your preoccupied father has gathered the entire family around a table in the backyard. The sun has almost set, and there is a soft breeze. But instead of a meal in the open air, you are going to attend a family meeting. In the middle of the table, you see an open gilded box. It is full of jewels. Robert Brante. Archduke Melanidas himself has bestowed this gift upon us. It is a surprise indeed. I thought you all had a right to know. Father unfolds a letter laying inside the box. Oof. Archduke Melanidas. Sir Robert Brante, I bestow this precious box upon you and your family as a symbol of the care with which I treat the people of my province. Pray accept this gift and remember with whom the loyalty of the true nobles of Magra lies. Archduke of Magra, Tarquinius of the Melanidas. The family stares in amazement at the jewels sparkling in the last rays of sunshine. Robert Brante. It's worth quite a fortune, but the Archduke is fully aware that I'm on the side of Prefect Elborn and Overseer Gaius Tempest. Could he really expect our loyalty to be brought so brazenly? On the other hand, the Archduke is not demanding anything of us, and our family has borne a lot of expenses recently. Davvon Brante. Father, no one is forcing you to side with Melanidas. Who are we in comparison to the Archduke anyway? We must not anger him by refusing his gift. The jewels are certainly welcome. They are worthy of being shared with the best families of Anazat. They will pave our way to the nobility of the sword. Mother shakes her head glumly. Lydia Brante. Oh, Robert, I have a feeling this gift bodes ill. It may be an impertinence on my part, but I do not want our family to be indebted to the Archduke. Gloria. Certainly not, accepting gifts from Melanidas. He's infamous for oppressing the commoners and robbing villages blind with his taxes. Davvon Brante. This isn't your decision, Gloria. It's a matter of our family's honor and reputation. Nathan Brante. Please don't start bickering again. Let Davvon Jr. say what he thinks we should do with this gift. You are the center of attention now. Your vote will be the deciding factor. Give the jewels to prominent nobles. Oh, diplomacy point! Ah! Find the gift. Sell the jewels. I want to give them to the nobles. Curiosity is gonna screw me over here, but we're gonna do this one. I feel like I've gone through the worst path possible to this point. Tarnished honor incoming. Looking the family patriarch straight in the eye, you state that such a gift is not to be accepted. The Archduke will see it as an oath of allegiance to him. It would be better to provoke his anger than to fall into his trap. You ask father to send the box back at once. Robert Brante. Well, I suppose you're right, Davvon Jr. It is far too dangerous, not only for me, but for the entire family. I'll write to the Archduke. Bring me my quill! I like how he says that. Davvon Brante. It's your decision, father, but please consider how much we stand to lose. Robert Brante. There are no jewels I would not renounce to keep you safe. Mother, Nathan, and Gloria cast grateful looks at you. Even Stefan accepts father's decision after some grumbling. You spend the rest of the night around the table, resting, conversing pleasantly, and amusing yourselves. For the first time in a long while, there is nothing casting a shadow over your home. The Archduke does not deign to reply to father's letter. No one expected otherwise. Does the Archduke count you among his enemies now, or has he forgotten about your existence? But why waste time guessing when you have a moment of peace to enjoy? There is only one disadvantage. You do not have a single coin tucked away in the family treasury. Hey, harmony. Let's go. Willpower +5. Yeah! Hey, we got valor points. Let's go! A moment of respite. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Unity equals 10. And on that note, before we get into this moment of respite, I am going to end the video here. Again, as always, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Again, if you guys are enjoying the series, smash the like button. Consider subscribing. We are a small channel trying to grow. Appreciate y'all as always. Have a good rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Wanna get some music for this? Nope.
How long did I go?
You said 30 seconds.
How long have I been going?
10.
Am I doing it right?
I have no idea. I'm not even
Is it
watching.
30 long?
No comment.